he has made an important point. The fact is that the judgment which my friend here quoted specifically says that inordinate delay will not apply where the nature of the crime or the nature of the offense or the perpetrators have done it with deliberate, cold-blooded intention. Here are people who have killed Rajiv Gandhi for the only reason that they said he sent the IPKF to Sri Lanka. And Rajiv Gandhi sent IPKF to Sri Lanka because there was a resolution of parliament that IPKF should be sent. And he was held personally responsible. Of these three, two are foreigners. They are LTT people from Sri Lanka. They are not even Indians. The other one was working for them as a servant. So these three people premeditated, participated in the conspiracy. How can you show any mercy when 18 policemen and with their young children suffering, they died along with Rajiv Gandhi?
That would be the case in other cases as well, in 2611.
One point. I heard their daughter, Haritra, speak. She says, I can write letters to my father. Then who do I write letters to? They are in jail. She can write letters. She can have communication. So what am I supposed to do? Just sit and talk? So is it really justice on my part? See, people who haven't lost anybody will not understand the problems of losing a family support system. And especially people who come from a middle class background, the police officers or even those police constables who were there at that point, they were the sole earning members of the family. Suddenly you tell them that, you know, oh, they are gone and now their wives have to stand up. It's not just one night. It is a whole life episode.
Mr. Swamy, she's in a sense flipping what you said, that they were very young at that time, you know, 20 years have passed, now we should be lenient on them. She says that and that's what he was saying as well, that for those who lost their lives, where is the question of looking back for them?
Her feelings should be respected. But one thing we should see, 9 provisions of the Indian Penal Code says the death penalty.
I'm saying death penalty has always existed in India.
302 is concerned, murder is concerned, that happens suddenly. It is a provocation, sudden provocation, sustained provocation, not compared to the sedition or waging war against the country or kidnapping a person for ransom. That is entirely different. In so far as these 3 persons concerned, the fact Mr. Subramanian Swamy may not be fully knowing, the case against them is they did not directly involved in this case. They did not directly conspire. The conspirators are, according to the prosecution, Prabhakaran, Puttaman, Agila and Sivarajan. These 4 persons conspired. He came to India, required the help of these 25 persons and executed the murder. They did not directly involve.
It's conspiracy, it's not the rarest of the rare. And that's another question.
The Supreme Court has gone into this question whether these 3 people, these 4 people including Nalini, were participants, active participants or not. And they said they were fully participants. Without that, this could not have been carried out.
In a sense, that's not. In a sense, Mr. Rajiv, we can't reopen the case. The case was done. The case was tried in 1999. The Supreme Court says they deserved death.
Yes.
And that is what the legal process comes to. Now it's a question that having been convicted and found guilty and sentenced, whether they get mercy or not.
They did not acquit
19%.
That's not correct.
Since there's no evidence.
There's no
but let's not become. You're not surely arguing that we should reopen the case itself.
That cannot be. That cannot be. In the mercy petition,
I think, see, for a crime to be qualified for death penalty, it needs to be rare as rare. Then
murdering a person who's been a prime minister of the country, 2611, these are rarest of rare.
Then you need to have this guilt of a person proved beyond the reasonable doubt. For that you need a watertight investigation without any loopholes. Tell me any case which has a watertight investigation. You know the kind of investigations we have, shoddy kind of investigations, and on the basis of that shoddy kind of investigation, one should not be hanged.
Okay, Mr. Langovan, let me just get you back in. This case has actually been to the Supreme Court, so their guilt, in a sense, or their innocence or their guilt is a settled issue by the Supreme Court. The fact that the Tamil Nadu Assembly would come and pass a resolution like this has also been questioned, notably by Omar Abdullah and others who are wondering whether in Afzal Guru's case, if that was to happen, I'm going to throw that to Mr. Gilani. Do you think that, where do you think the legality of the position of the Tamil Nadu Assembly in getting into this is right now?
No, the Assembly is representing the people of Tamil Nadu who have been watching this case. This killing has happened in Tamil Nadu. People are watching the cases since 1991. And the Assembly, Tamil Nadu Assembly is representing the people of Tamil Nadu.
Okay, now can I ask you that? So what Omar Abdullah says is that if that is the case, yes, what would have happened if in Kashmir there are also people who are very concerned about what happens to Afzal Guru, and there's a question of whether that could lead to a disturbance. What Omar Abdullah says is what would be the reaction if the Kashmir Assembly was to pass a similar resolution?
Well, I think Omar Abdullah has rightly said that that the reaction would have been very different. The reaction would have been different from the people here, I mean from political parties. It would have been different. As for these people, like I was in Tamil Nadu on 30th when this High Court judgment came, I was there. I met three persons also in jail, Vellore jail. I saw in Vellore, I saw in Chennai, there's a huge crowds for their support. I was in the High Court, I saw the huge crowd, all lawyers there, outside in Chennai there. In Vellore there was a public meeting, a huge, thousands of people were there.
So does that mean if there is public opinion in favor of somebody's acquittal or in favor of somebody's hanging, should that change the situation, or should we be guided by law?
It is not that.
Because there is public opinion, for example, strongly saying that Afzal Guru should be hanged.
No, it is not. That's what I'm saying. You see,
at the end of the day, are we guided by public opinion, or are we guided by law?
They are being punished twice. Not only them, but for the last 20 years, their families are being punished. Their families are being punished.
Okay, fine.
And in Afzal Guru's case, in Afzal Guru's case, I was talking about an investigation. High Court, Delhi High Court has said that police in this case has fabricated the evidence, forged the documents. This is the kind of investigation. How can you hang Afzal Guru on the basis of this kind of shoddy investigation? Supreme Court says there is no direct evidence against him. How can you do it to Afzal Guru?
Subramanian Swamy?
No, you see, the question is
public opinion says don't hang them in Tamil Nadu. In Kashmir, there will be public opinion of Afzal Guru is hanged. Do we take these decisions based on public opinion? And there's other public opinion which says we should hang them.
Why I call the Tamil Nadu Assembly election, the resolution is stupid, is because it says keeping in view the Tamil sentiment. These people should be given amnesty. So Omar Abdullah posed a rhetorical question. Supposing I talk about keeping in view the Kashmiri sentiment and said that would there be the same kind of muted reaction. Badal has followed it up with a Sikh reaction. Now, are we going to be one country where an Indian sentiment is going to have any value, or we are going to allow ourselves to be broken up into 20 countries?
Mr. Elangovan, let me throw that question to you. At the end of the day, do these issues have to be decided on the basis of law? And I get your legal point. They've been punished twice.
It is not the question of Tamil sentiment I am speaking.
That is in the resolution.
I have already stated that seeking mercy is available only for the death sentences. They are already in prison for more than 20 years.
Okay.
So they can even that death sentence should be commuted. That is the only question.
Okay, so you're saying
not that they should be let off free, they are innocent, or they should be acquitted. That is not the question now.
Okay, Smita Saraskar, let me just get you in. On the question of public opinion, should public opinion be deciding these matters? Because in the case of somebody like Kasa, public opinion is different. Public opinion says he should be hanged immediately. Why are we waiting for a date?
Yeah, that is true. Public opinion is that. And in all these things which are discussed on this platform, public opinion is definitely of hanging them. There is no...
in some cases, as you say, there's public opinion says, do not hang the people in Tamil Nadu.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
This is not
there
a public
is no
opinion
way
at
of
all.
objectively deciding what the people of Tamil Nadu want.
Yes.
They don't.
So you're saying public
pro-LTT people cannot decide what is
happening
happening in Tamil Nadu.
Last years we are also going through many, meeting many people. This is not public opinion at all. Those who are suffered and those who are suffering from that, or mercy, why mercy for these people?
They had big plans. Now, if you are going to set the example of this Tamil Nadu Rajiv Gandhi's assassination, then the same you will have debate on Kasab also. That masterminds were there in the Pakistan. Now Kasab is not directly involved. So 20 years have been passed. So he should not be hanged. And then what about the justice? There is no justice for the citizen of this nation at all.
Okay. So may I just ask a question here? May I just ask a question here? How have we reached a point where we equate death penalty as absolute justice and a life sentence as mercy? I think that is an illusion that is afforded
If I come and kill your mother,
class.
if I come and kill your mother, will your sentiments will be like this? Then come and answer me.
Madam, I narrowly escaped death in there, and for the first 2 weeks after the attacks, I wanted
people come from outside, from other country, from Pakistan. Yesterday I read the news, 3 were killed, Pakistani, and one was shaheed on the border. People outside, this is the only big crime that they can enter our country. If they were caught on the border.
And as he said, 2 of these people...
Will killing Kasab send the message of deterrence across the border or give us the feeling of justice? I am telling you, it does not provide us with closure. Death does not provide closure. The illusion that life imprisonment is mercy will cost us a worse penalty, madam.
I am going through life imprisonment and not Kasab. You know, Kasab is not going with life imprisonment. I am going through life imprisonment.
One at a time, one at a time. One at a time, one at a time, one at a time.
Exactly, I would have been in a body bag, but that does not take away from the argument about the death penalty just simply
I want to come to the broader question. I want to come to the broader question of death penalty, but I just want to finish this entire issue which is just being raised about whether public opinion, one way or the other, can ever be measured or should ever be considered as a criteria. As she says, public opinion, actually, maybe in Kashmir, there's a view that you shouldn't hang Afzal Guru. If public opinion is a criteria, then in the rest of the country there is a public opinion that Afzal Guru should be hanged tomorrow. Why even
Vikram, not Vikram.
I have been in I mean, how do you judge public opinion is the point I'm trying to make.
See, I have been through this, length and breadth of this country. I have spoken to every city, and I have asked them questions. The fact of the matter is that people are not aware of the reality. Afzal was not the person who was inside the parliament. Supreme Court says that the Supreme Court acquits him of being a member of any unlawful organization. Acquits him of explosive act. There are what circumstantial evidence against him, and those circumstances are against him only and only because he did not have a lawyer at the very beginning in the trial court. So this is unfair. He has never got a fair trial. The problem is that
later. I'm just coming to the audience. But what he's saying essentially that if the process, I think what he's questioning is the process of the trial and the process of justice itself was flawed from the very beginning. Then what happens?
See, he said about the police investigation, that the investigation was shoddy.
But that's often the case.
I would say that if the investigation is shoddy, then it would result in acquittal and not conviction. So the very fact that it has resulted in conviction, I think at times you must appreciate the good work done by police.
So why you're saying
that is what I am saying? It is not we. It is the Delhi High Court saying. It is Delhi High Court saying that in this case police has fabricated the evidence, forged of documents. Go and see the judgment.
At the end of the day, he still did get the death sentence.
Why? That's what I am saying. Just to to satisfy the collective conscience of the society.
Okay. Is this something which you think is a real chance going to happen in the Kasab case?
It was required by the law.
Sorry.
Your mother said that at some point these same questions will be raised in the Kasab case as well. Was he really guilty or was he not?
Well, they can be, but we have too much evidence against it. We have too much real footage, everything. But still, there can be various debates on it. Supreme Court said this and this happened and that happened. It's very important. Like my mother said, we as India should stand as a nation. Why do I support capital punishment? Because if we do not set an example, see, we had 26/11 and we thought it was the last we saw, but then we had 13/7 and we do not know how many more we are going to have. But at least let us set one example that India is not scared of taking a stand.
Okay, his point is that death sentence is not necessarily taking that stance. I'm going to come back to this debate in just a couple of minutes. Let's just broaden it a little bit. The overall ethical, moral, other questions as to whether death sentence is the only way to demonstrate the resolve that Divya was talking about. That's when we come back after this break.